LeadChess. 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 LeadChess.
Hello? Hello? Is anyone there? Is anyone there? Oh boy. Yeah, I messed things up pretty bad with YouTube. It actually wasn't me, to be fair. It was the restreaming service that we used. That you guys don't care about that. Okay, forget it. The important thing is we're about to start. I might turn the mic down a little bit because I'm louder than I thought it would be. We're going to start in a minute, and the previous delay was not my fault. So those are the two things that you need to remember. Oh, you'd like to see me? Oh. Well, hello. I've been accused of relying too much on my handsomeness. Constantly, every day. So I was thinking about doing a stream where I don't use the webcam. You know, try to cut back against that. But I suppose it's kind of necessary to just give the stream sort of a personal feel. How's everybody doing? I believe I have everything set up. I'm seeing the Twitch chat. I am seeing the YouTube chat. I have futuristic technology that allows me to see both all in one window. And the chat is flying. Clive V asks, are you watching YouTube? I am. And I proved it because I said your name when you said that, when you asked me that question. Clive V asked me again. He didn't believe me. Before we launch into the questions and such, can I just say that this is a very frightening thing for me? This is a very frightening thing for me. And it's not because I'm scared of public speaking. I'm not scared at all. I will say all sorts of ridiculous things and also often ill-advised things, to be honest. Why it's frightening is because allegedly I am representing LeadChess here, and that just sometimes isn't the case. It happens very often. It happens very often that I have some idea for what LeadChess is going to do, and I come to the team, I come to our little clubhouse, and I'm very excited, and I say, hey guys, I got this great idea, let's do this. And their immediate and unanimous response is, that's a terrible idea, we're not doing that, we're never doing that, we never would do that, and we now think less of you, Nojoke, for having suggested it. So, if I were to talk about, some topic along those lines, and I say that I don't speak for LeadChess, I would very literally not speak for LeadChess. Like, Nojoke's opinion is, goes against the LeadChess opinion as an organization. I suppose all I can do is just try to clarify when I'm speaking as a man and when I'm speaking as a prophet for LeadChess. All right. So what's going to happen here today? I guess I should explain things before I ramble on too much. We're taking questions today. It is not all questions. There will be some rambling, as you've seen. There will also be, I think I'm going to go over some new features and some new things we're doing. But the base of it is that you guys ask questions, and I answer them as best I can. And I should note that there will also be people in chat, probably mostly in Twitch chat, just because that's what LeadChess people use. There will be people in Twitch chat that are also answering questions who are LeadChess people who know the answer just as well as I do. And sometimes they're very simple questions with, one sentence answers, and they'll just answer in Twitch. But I'll try to cover the gaps as best I can. Let's launch into it. I'm going to take a question from way at the beginning because I want to encourage people. I want to encourage people to get their questions in early. And I saw a question that I wanted to answer. I don't remember the exact question, and it may be lost to time, but it was along the lines of how do you get your tournament promoted on the homepage of LeadChess? So if you look at the homepage of LeadChess right now, and this is the, what you're looking at is the LeadChess homepage when filtered through an extension called Prettier LeadChess. You will see that there are streamers linked, and there are these buttons. These it looks a little bit different on the vanilla website. There are streamers linked, and there are these buttons that link that are even more prominent, that probably bring even more traffic. And the question is generally, how do you get one of those? Well, candidates for those buttons present themselves, and I would just encourage you, I guess, to write to the main LeadChess email, which is contact@leadchess.org. And ask for one of those buttons if you think you deserve it. And usually the team discusses it. And how do we decide? Well, each individual probably has a different metric. Personally, in my opinion, the things that go on the homepage should be things that users want to see. So if we put a stream, some amount of users will probably think, that I don't care about that. I wish that wasn't there. And some amount of users will think, thank goodness that I noticed that this stream is taking place. I wouldn't have noticed without LeadChess. And, many will be totally apathetic. So for me, I just want a high percentage of users to be happy that they were made aware of something. So what does that mean when the rubber hits the road? Well, something very prominent is likely to get linked. So if there's a big tournament that Magnus and his ilk are playing in, that is very likely to be linked. That is guaranteed to be linked, right? If there are more prominent players along those lines, they are likely to be linked. If there is a tournament that is on LeadChess, so you're clicking on the button and then you're going to play, it probably has to be open to all. There are many tournaments that are on LeadChess that have entry fees, and that is perfectly fine with us. They're probably not getting linked on the homepage. So yeah, long answer made short. Just write, if you think you deserve some promotion from LeadChess, write to us and we may or may not agree. What other questions do we have? Man, very, very busy chat. Let's see what else we have. I'm going to skip back a little bit. I'm jumping around to different questions. You look a lot like Tom Segura. Thank you. That is true. So I should get to this first of all. What you are looking at is LeadChess. You can see just barely. I had to cut it off. Wait, where is it? Over here? No, over here. There's LeadChess in the corner. It is using an extension. And if you are interested in such extensions, let me show you that we have a page just for that purpose. And I'll put this in chat. Give me one moment. Where's chat? There you are, chat. Here's the page. That should go to both. And there are different extensions for LeadChess. And these are not all... See, extensions, the word extensions usually refers to browser extensions, but these are not all browser extensions. They're just things that sort of add on to LeadChess or do things that LeadChess doesn't do in its vanilla form, or, add a little bit of extra value. So you have user styles. One of the more useful ones is a streamer layout. And that, I'm sure you've seen streamers using this. It puts the clocks directly above and below the board, which makes setting up a streamer overlay a lot easier. What else? The one I'm using is Prettier LeadChess, which just gives it the aesthetic that you're looking at. There are different extensions here. Our streamers use Accept Random Challenge quite a bit. It's quite a critical extension. We have non-LeadChess websites that do things that LeadChess does not, or perhaps in a way that LeadChess does not. So openingtree.com is a very big one. A personalized opening explorer is one of the more popular feature requests, and there's not a great deal of motivation on our part to implement that because it already exists in a fantastic form in openingtree.com. So if you would like to see a database of your own games and your winning percentages and your performance ratings and all sorts of stuff like that, please go check out openingtree.com. We have some other ones. This one is a little bit silly. I wrote this document, so I'm allowed to call it silly. This is a bit of the silly part of the document because this is just background images. And I'm not going to put one up because I think it would mess up the extension, but you can have absolutely anything as your background image on the LeadChess homepage. And there are some test images here, if you would like to try. On which site is he? I'm on leadchess.org, friend. Let's see. We'll pick another question. I'm just going to reach in the hat and pull one out. I see people asking questions about, like, chess, the game, as opposed to websites. I probably won't be answering those. I would imagine the things I have to say about LeadChess are more interesting than the things I have to say about getting good at chess. The only thing I have to say about getting good at chess is that you should grind tactics until you hate chess. That's what I always tell people. If you have any affection at all for the game of chess in your heart, you have not grinded tactics enough. What about a marathon for non-titled players with a trophy for the top 100? Well, the marathon is for non-titled players. It's for titled players and non-titled players. If you're asking about a marathon that excludes titled players, that would be very difficult to enforce. And I don't love the idea because, of course, titled players are not required to verify their title on LeadChess, and I don't think they ever will be. It seems very privacy to require them to identify, and so if we're going to have this no titled players invited event, we would have to know who's titled, right? When will the next LeadChess remix be? I don't know. I didn't know there was going to be a first one. What can I say about the second one? Let's skip ahead a bit. Skip ahead on the questions. Somewhat unusual question. I'd like to host a tournament for a specific group of people known ahead of time. Is there a way to do so without everyone in that group creating accounts, since a non-insignificant number of these people are unlikely to play outside of that tournament, but allowing the tournament host to know who's who during the event? Depending on the specific circumstances, you could make the accounts yourself and then distribute them to the players. If there is a low number of players, that would be a feasible solution. If there are like 2,000 players, maybe not. People get very weird about multi-accounting on LeadChess, and perhaps we can explain it better. So let me just start from the top. And the reason I'm saying this is because when I say you can make the accounts, like make 10 accounts, people are probably freaking out. That's multi-accounting. You can't do that. When you make an account on LeadChess, we ask you not to make any others. So that is kind of the rule, but it is the rule with lots of exceptions. Okay? What are the exceptions? If you would like an anonymous account, you are allowed to have 2 accounts. And in fact, I don't know about most, but many titled players, many prominent players do that. They have 1 account for when they're playing in an official event, and then they have another account for when they're just screwing around, playing blitz, doing puzzles, whatever. And that is perfectly fine. People will have a second account that is their blindfold account because they play much worse. They don't want to screw up the rating system. Again, perfectly fine. People will have a account that they use to manage an organization. So you have your own personal account where you play games and whatever, and then you have another account that has a team that makes tournaments, that manages a forum, whatever, and that account is used by different people in one organization. Again, perfectly fine. Right? So the rule is don't multi-account, but in practice there are many, many, many exceptions created. And if, as in the original question, if you were making accounts for other individuals to help them out, that would be perfectly fine. That was a long answer. Very long answer. My question was, where did you see the list of extensions? I posted the link. I see there are LeadChess people helping me answer. I really appreciate that. Why doesn't LeadChess post more videos of their channel and grow more like other chess channels? LeadChess deserves much more credit. Well, thank you. I think we've been posting quite a few videos. I actually have something ready for that. I have evidence. I'm ready. Here's a site called Twitch Tracker, just because I couldn't find the information gathered all together in one place any more convenient than this. And these are the Twitch streams we've done. And you can see pretty clearly, here is the most recent one right here. I bet if I refresh, you'd see this one. But anyway, and you can see, every second day, every third day, every fourth day, we have a stream, which we've been doing for a while now. And we would accept feedback on what we're doing as far as live streamed content. At the moment, basically everybody that streams, other than me, they take challenges. So we had John Bartholomew yesterday, took challenges. We've had Laura Unuk take challenges. Maroon Tomb is the newest person that's in the rotation. Akash Maduri, I'm missing a lot of people. But basically the format is a strong titled player plays games. Everyone sends them challenges. They pick a challenge randomly and they play. We chose this format just kind of because of nothing, because it just seemed logical at the time. If people would rather see viewer arenas, or they would rather see commentary on big tournaments, or they would rather see whatever, please let us know, because we are still very much a baby video content producer, and we're figuring things out. So give us your feedback, including as if your feedback is like, I love everything you do except the Nojoke streams. Stop doing the Nojoke streams. I would be happy to have less work. What else do we have? By the way, let me give another recommendation here. I am surely going to miss a lot of questions. If your question is missed and I don't answer it and no one in chat answers it, what should you do? Be sad? Become resentful? No. I would recommend that you go to the LeadChess Discord. It's linked on the homepage. Let me see if I can find it on Prettier LeadChess. Here it is. There's our Discord. I recommend you join our Discord. And there are people in the Discord chat more or less 24 hours a day. Very close to 24 hours a day, if not precisely that much. And there's a channel called Support where you can ask about website things. And they can't always help you. Sometimes you'll be required to send an email or go to the website and fill out some form. But they can at least send you on your way. And if it's a very simple question, they can probably give you a very simple answer. And I highly recommend it for, let's call them user support issues. What tips do you have for acquiring your dashing good looks? The secret is clean living. Yep. Clean living. Don't do it. Never live clean. Just drink and do drugs and never sleep and just grind yourself. That is where true beauty comes from. Does LeadChess pay these people? Some of them. LeadChess streamers are like everyone who works for LeadChess, in that some of them are volunteers and some of them are full-time paid employees or part-time paid employees. In Opening Explorer, is it possible to have a My Games instead of GM Games so we can see how white and black openings are doing for us? Do you see, people? Do you see what I said? Mr. Arif Dalvi, please check out a website called openingtree.com. It is precisely what you're looking for, and it is just as free as LeadChess and just as free and open source, and I highly recommend it. Hi, Nojoke. I was going to ask if the iOS app would ever be updated to include the full set of puzzle types But then I added a LeadChess shortcut to my iPhone homepage and discovered that it worked like the app, but with full website functionality, including things like Puzzle Streak. It doesn't open in the main browser, main app. Was this deliberate, or have I stumbled onto a lucky accident? Duff Deep Blue, it was very deliberate and not as effective as we would like it to be. So, let me explain this from the beginning. There are many pieces of software associated with LeadChess. The two big ones that our users interact with directly are the website, leadchess.org, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, and the mobile app, which are separate pieces of software which are developed completely separately and are also separate. Have I said separate enough? The app does not have all of the features that the website has. The two of them will probably never have the same features because they are different sets of software developed at different paces. There is not, I want to say this very diplomatically, the app not being as feature-rich as the website is not necessarily a big problem, because all of those features we don't have on the app, we do have on mobile devices. You can access them in your mobile device. The way that you access them is through a mobile browser. The LeadChess website is designed to work well on lots of different types of devices, lots of different screen sizes, including mobile devices. So I would encourage everyone watching to get out your mobile phone at some point, and instead of using the app, go to a mobile browser, Chrome or Firefox or Safari or whatever, and open up leadchess.org and see if you like it. Okay, because all of the stuff that people ask for on the app is available in a mobile browser, unless I'm forgetting something, which I may be. What does it take to become a LeadChess streamer? Is there an app or something? Do you guys handpick? Well, anyone can get a LeadChess streamer page. You just go apply, and if you don't have some dark history of doing terrible things, we will approve it, and you'll have a LeadChess streamer page. How do you get on the home page? That is by invitation. So you catch the eye of LeadChess people, and they decide to put you on the home page. It's not much more complicated than that. If I'm a subscriber on your channel, do I get priority questions? No. But let me tell you what you do get, Perpetual Stalemate. You get our sincere appreciation. There should definitely be official coverage of titled arenas. Omni perspective, I agree 100%. And actually, we were talking about this yesterday. The titled arena on Saturday, a couple days ago, was unusually bereft of streamers. I shouldn't use that word. It was unusually, there was a low number of streamers. There were certainly streamers, but not as many as there usually were. And in the past, the idea was that we wouldn't do an official LeadChess stream because it would take away attention from other streamers that we want to help out. But I don't know if that's true, first of all, and it's also nice to sort of have a backup if there isn't some streamer that you like. I don't know. So yeah, the plan is right now we're going to have streamers for titled arenas going forward. Who knows what's going to happen, but we've already got one lined up for the next titled arena, which is on the 22nd, if I'm remembering correctly. Can we get LeadChess Warzone tournaments with qubits? Yes, absolutely. Why do the trophies of top 100 players sometimes don't appear if they are in the top 100? If you have a rating that is high enough for the top 100 and you are not, and you don't see yourself in the top you don't see yourself with the trophy on your profile, you probably have a rating deviation that is too high. I believe the limit is 75, and if you are over that, your rating, you don't get the trophy. So you need to play more games. You rarely answer our questions. All I've been doing, sir, all I've been doing for 20 minutes is answering your questions. I'm doing my best. How can one become a LeadChess developer? If you want to become a LeadChess developer, I would, number one, learn to code. Number 2, go watch our YouTube video on setting up the LeadChess dev environment. Try to set it up. And number 3, go hang out in the Discord in the dev channels. I'm going to skip ahead a bit. I think I remember this person from the emails. I heard this question before, and I think it's the same person. Hello, I am in a LeadChess class, and 2 of my best ratings are shown, but my 3rd best rating doesn't show up. My rating deviation is 56, but why? Oh, well, my answer was going to be a low or a high rating deviation, and it would seem I'm wrong because you have a 56 rating deviation. I suppose the answer is I don't know. I would have to look into it. I'm not sure off the top of my head what criteria choose the displayed rating in classes. Sorry. No joke. I want to join the team, the Streamers Union. I messaged you, but no reply. This is a question I want to answer. This is one I'm looking forward to answering. There is a team called Streamers Union. It is only for front page streamers. It helps us communicate with them. On the description, it says only for front page streamers. Don't even apply. No application to join the team. Literally, not one has ever been successful. We go and add them manually. So don't apply, because it says don't apply. And don't write to me to ask to apply, because I already told... Okay, I won't get upset. Golu the Great, go read the team description. That should explain everything. Do you know GM Elma Cano Moreno from Mexico? No, I'm sorry I don't. I'm sure that they are lovely, whoever they are. Any chance we'd get the chance? Any chance we'd... I'm sorry, this question is funny, but I don't mean to laugh at people. Any chance we'd get any chance we'd get the chance to change our username at least once? I feel like many of us made an account with a silly name years ago and now want to change it. This is a question from Bouchier. Yeah, I understand. It is not currently possible to change usernames on LeadChess. Technically, it would be a difficult feature to implement because visible usernames and the name in the database are the same thing. So the way the data is structured is not kind to someone who wanted to implement name changes. There is less of a motivation to implement it because it is halfway already possible. You can at any time close your account and make a new one with any available name. Before anyone gets upset at my answer, I understand that this isn't the same as a name change because you lose your friends lists and your ratings and what else? And your puzzle history. Well, let me go through those 3. If you play a few puzzles, you will get up to your correct puzzle rating very quickly. If you play a few games, you will get up to your correct rating in games very quickly. And as for the friends, I don't know. They're not your real friends anyway. They're just pretending to like you. That one is a fair criticism. And what else do we have? The interface you're looking at is called Prettier LeadChess. You can find it on leadchess.org page/extend. It's called can't type Prettier LeadChess. When is KB going to get banned? It ruins Hyperbullet and Ultrabullet. So we have to take a moment to talk about KB on every stream. It always comes up. And I don't like talking about it, not because like it makes me uncomfortable. It's just that I'm not really the person who should be having a strong opinion on KB, and I don't. KB stands for Keyboard Moves. It is a extension that allows you to use the keyboard to move. You can choose a piece with the keyboard, and the effect is that it allows you to input moves much more quickly. And, of course, this gives you quite an advantage in Ultrabullet. And it is perfectly legal at the moment. It was broken for a while. I'm not sure if it's back now. But it's perfectly legal on LeadChess, and there are many people who feel very strongly that it shouldn't be. What can I say about this? We have decided to keep KB legal because whenever there is a change made on the website, there are going to be people who love it, people who hate it, and people who don't care. If we banned KB tomorrow, there would be people who celebrated and threw parties, and there would be people who were not happy, who, KB was part of how they enjoyed LeadChess. So these are complicated decisions, and at the moment, it's legal. There's no plans to make it illegal. And if you think it ruins Ultra Bullet, I'm very sorry. I understand your perspective. But that's not the rules right now. Why am I not better? I don't know. Oh, somebody made a prettier command. Wonderful. How do you beat Magnus? Don't play chess. Just anything else. Just play Monopoly or like a foot race maybe, if you're really fast. It ruins Ultra Bullet, but Ultra Bullet is already ruined. Is there any way to help you with moderation? Yes! File reports. It is very frustrating. Something that happens all the time. And it actually just happened today. I saw somebody on Twitter complaining. You see people on the forums, you see people on Twitter, you see people in wherever, and they say, LeadChess is full of cheaters / rude people / other forms of misbehavior, all of these ne'er-do-wells on LeadChess, and LeadChess doesn't care, never does anything about it. And then you go look at their account, the account of the person complaining, and they have 0 reports filed. All of these terrible things happening on LeadChess, none of them reported. just nothing. If you see something negative happening on LeadChess that you think may be some rules violation or that deserves attention from LeadChess moderators, file a report. Go to leadchess.org/report or go to their profile and find the report button and give us a report. There is really no downside to reports. Almost none. You can get silly. There are people who report everyone they lose to, and those people should stop. But if you're even thinking about filing a report, you should just file a report. It's fine. Because it's more information. We often get emails from people, these adorable emails of people who said, I reported someone a week ago, and I just realized that I was wrong. They weren't doing the thing I thought they did. Oh God, I hope you didn't ban them. That you don't have to worry about that. That's not how it works. Reports are reviewed by human beings and get a yay or nay. So if you filed a report and you were wrong, then the mods saw it and said, yeah, not this one, no. And then life went on. So please, please, please file reports. The average report on LeadChess, how can I state this very precisely? The average success percentage, so like the average number of reports that result in some mod action that we could call correct reports is extremely, extremely low. I would say the average report success percentage or correctness percentage is in single digits. If a third of your reports result in some mod action, you are a very good reporter. If half of them are, then you're an elite reporter. You're one of the very best. You are a super GM reporter. So keep that in mind when you file reports. Just file them. Just don't worry about it. Nothing bad will happen. So many questions. Why are you speaking about serious stuff? Here's a good question we get a lot. Why are LeadChess ratings higher than chess.com ratings? There's a whole FAQ and portion on this. But for some users, and it's not all users, some users will see big ratings differences, 300-400 points sometimes, between different websites, between ICC and chess.com and chess24 and LeadChess and whoever I'm unintentionally forgetting to mention. And people seem confused about this, and they say that one site is inflated or deflated, which is not really the correct word, because ratings inflation is another phenomenon that is unrelated. LeadChess ratings are not inflated, they are just different. Like, would you say that Fahrenheit is inflated when compared to Celsius? Of course not. They're different systems. They're never going to match up, right? You have to convert one to the other. And the same temperature will look differently when measured with one and measured with the other. LeadChess ratings, similarly, and Chess.com ratings or whoever else, are going to be different. And so the general, the way it seems to work is that if you are on the lower end of the spectrum, your LeadChess rating will be higher. So if you're rated, say, I don't know, 1,000 in Chess.com, you might be 1,100. I don't know what the exact conversion state is. And then as you get higher, it gets closer. So maybe if you're, 2,000, it would be 2,100 on Chess.com. So it's a little bit closer. And then when you get to the very elite levels, the Chess.com ratings are higher, right? Go look at, I don't know, whatever Magnus's rating is on LeadChess and Chess.com. It's higher on Chess.com, I believe. And that is just how ratings will always work. The goal of LeadChess ratings is not to match FIDE ratings. The goal is to get you a good game of chess. It's to find you a game of chess that is neither too hard nor too easy. It's also how we rate puzzles, by the way. When you solve a puzzle, you're playing a game against the puzzle. And if you get it right, you win and your rating goes up. And if you get it wrong, the puzzle wins and the puzzle's rating goes up. And it's precisely the same system as games. So I hope that clears things up. LeadChess doesn't aspire to make a lot of money. What does it aspire to? Is it increased user numbers, better interface? What is LeadChess striving towards? Well, this one's pretty simple. We just want it to be the best website it can be. We would like it to be a better website than it was yesterday. And to that end, some money is, of course, necessary, but money will never be its own motivation, at least not at LeadChess. Can you get banned for reporting someone? No, absolutely not. Did you get a lot of angry messages of different insufficient material rules on different sites? Yes. They're not that angry. I don't want you to think that like people are screaming at us every day. People definitely write to wonder why a game was a draw when the other person ran out of time and we have to explain insufficient material. They write about en passant all the time. Those are probably the two most misunderstood rules. Did you make Ben from Perpetual Chess take out all the brown M&Ms from the bowl before you went on? Yes. When will we come to add a photo to our profile? Well, you can add a photo to your profile if you put a Imgur link, and I think there's some other websites you can use, but we'll say Imgur because I know it works. You can put a picture in your profile with an Imgur link. You cannot put a profile picture on game pages, which may be what you're suggesting. I am not super in favor of that happening because it would make the pages heavier and load slower, and we would have to moderate the pictures because people would put crude pictures, we'll say, which would have to be policed, which is more work for the mods. So I'm not in love with the idea, but I'm also not strongly against it. And you already have pictures in your profiles, just not on game pages. Let's see, what else do we have? Is LeadChess going to create its own cryptocurrency? There are no current plans to do that. What would you even do with the LeadChess cryptocurrency? I mean, if it's a way for us to like just make money, that's probably a non-starter. If the only point of the Lee coin or whatever we're going to call it is just to make money, it's probably not happening. Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed, but we're sort of dirty hippies that are afraid of profit. If it can serve some useful purpose, I would absolutely listen. Skipping ahead. The homepage is Prettier LeadChess. I think people are linking it. How exactly is the game completion rate calculated? I aborted one game and it decreased from 97 to 90%, although I have roughly 1,000 games. Man, people ask these questions about very specific thresholds and things that I would like to need to look up on the code, and I'm not going to for every question, and I'm not going to like open up the GitHub page and search for. As I recall, to the best of my knowledge, to the best of my recollection, the game completion rate is on the previous 20 games. So that would be roughly along the lines of losing 3% on one game. Wait, is that true? I don't know. So yeah, the quick and dirty answer is that the game completion rate does not come from every game you've ever played. I can say that for sure. How much work is it to moderate LeadChess? A lot. A ton. At the moment, there are something like... See, I shouldn't have led with this sentence. We're going to lead with another sentence. Calculating the number of people that work for LeadChess is hard. Because if I wanted to be very silly and exaggerate, I could easily say there are 200 people that work for LeadChess. And I wouldn't be lying. It would just be an exaggeration. I would be including a lot of people who did very like small things for LeadChess that I probably shouldn't count as like working for LeadChess. Or at least it would be misleading to say so. Okay? The who works for LeadChess? Well, we have moderators, we have devs, we have people who do streams, we have people who moderate the streams, we have the broadcast team, which brings broadcasts. I got to make a point to look at broadcasts before we go, because I'm very proud of where broadcasts have gone. We have translators, we have Discord mods, we have Twitch mods. I think I already mentioned that. There's a lot of different people, and if I counted every single one of them, I can easily get over 100. Easily. The number of people who are moderating, because the original question was about moderation, is around 50? Give or take, maybe a bit more. I think it might be a bit more than that now. And it is a horrendous amount of work to moderate LeadChess. They're moderating for cheating. They're moderating for people saying bad words and being rude. Somebody has to do the title confirmations because you send in a picture of your ID and of your face and you say, I'm this GM, please put GM on my title. Somebody has to manage that. Somebody has to deal with user support requests. It is a lot of work. You can turn your game into an NFT. This is sounding a lot like it's only to make money. This is a bit of a spicy question. Yeah, I'll answer this one. Do LeadChess.org and Chess.com developers know each other at all? Yes. Yes, absolutely. And we occasionally interact. I don't know if people imagine LeadChess and Chess.com like it's the Sharks and Jets from West Side Story, where like we come into the same room together and it's awkward and like somebody pulls a knife. It's not quite like all that. LeadChess people and Chess.com people go sometimes to like tournaments, you know. There was LeadChess people and Chess.com people at like the candidates or whatever big tournament, and they just, you know, say, hey, how's it going? They're just people. It's not quite that intense. Certainly there is occasionally resentment and occasionally poor feelings. I don't think that can ever be entirely avoided, but I mean, for example, if I need a like if chess.com is running a tournament and I want to broadcast it on LeadChess, I just write to them and say, hey, can I have the PGN? And then they write back and give me the PGN. There's no cursing or fisticuffs involved. At least for me. Maybe the other LeadChess people are getting into horrible fights all the time. Cheater refunds. What is the reason behind limiting it to 3 days and 40 games? Well, you have to limit it somewhat. You have let me give a little context. When a engine cheater is banned, refunds are given to people that lost to them, but not anyone who ever lost to them. All right? And the reason is, well, first of all, let's establish it has to be limited somewhat, because people get banned that have 10,000 games going back a decade, you know? And it's just not practical to try to reverse all those results. Could it be more? Yes, of course. And this is a very hard threshold to set. Precisely how many refunds should you give? How many games? Going back so far, what should the system be? And you're dealing with lots of different kinds of chess. You're dealing with bullet games where somebody can play 50 games in, a couple hours. You're dealing with classical games where one game takes 2 hours. You're dealing with all sorts of different circumstances, and thousands of people get banned, right? There are 5 million games played on LeadChess every day, and the percentage of cheaters is small, but a small percentage of 5 million is still a very big number. So we have set the refund level at the level that it's at, and if you think that it should be more games, I can't really offer a counter argument, because the thresholds we set were just sort of set by eyeballing it and seeing what the effects of that threshold were over time. And you could absolutely argue that in a certain case more games should have been refunded, or less games should have been refunded, or whatever. But the problem is the system has to work on such a mass level that you kind of just have to set one criteria and stick with it. What else do we have here? I want to show a broadcast before I forget. So, I am very proud. There were some changes to broadcast recently, and I want to show them off during this stream. And you people are going to watch me show them off. So this is our broadcast page. You get to it by going to watch and then broadcast. And these are ongoing OTB tournaments. Actually, they're not all OTB. Some of them are online. These are ongoing events with famous players. And it will tell you when the next round is and the name of it and so on and so forth. And let me pick one. Here is the Chinese Championship. Okay? And you can see, here are the games. Down here, there is a chat. You can see the rounds. You can see when, rounds are. Round 7 starts in 30 hours. You can see precisely in local time when it starts. You can see the games. Let me pull a game up here. And lots of things that cost money on other sites are free on LeadChess. You should, if you are paying to download a PGN, stop and never do it again, because the PGNs on LeadChess are completely free. Another cool feature we have on broadcast that I want to mention is when there is a big broadcast with like thousands of people watching, like what was the last one? This Champions Chess Tour event with Magnus. When you have a big tournament like that, and there are 2,000-3,000 people watching or whatever it is, the candidates was the same way, we get to use a LeadChess feature that I'm very proud of, which is shared analysis. So you turn on the engine here, right here, boom, and you start getting an engine evaluation. And your engine evaluation is shared with other users. So if you have an engine evaluation that is at depth 26, and another person turns the engine on and their depth is slowly inching up 15, 16, 17, they will jump to 26. You will share your analysis with them, which saves them the work. And on a big broadcast with 2,000 or 3,000 people, there is always somebody watching with an absolute monster of a machine. So, the next time Magnus is playing, I would encourage you to go to broadcast, bring up his game, turn on the engine, and watch it immediately jump to depth 40 or whatever. I am unreasonably proud of this feature because it makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. It shows like the power of the community working together, the power of friendship. What else do we have here? Man, the questions come in hard and fast. Who will stream the Mr. Dodgy Invitational on LeadChess? Well, Mr. Dodgy, I assume. He's the natural candidate. Can LeadChess broadcast the live World Chess Championship 2021? Yes, absolutely. We are planning on it. Man, there's a lot of discussion. I guess that's good. Should I prohibit discussion? No discussion, only questions. Infinite pre-moves. I would describe that as multiple pre-moves, but in theory, I guess those are also infinite pre-moves. Practically, I guess there's some limitations of the machines involved. Anyway, multiple pre-moves. There's no multiple pre-moves on LeadChess. Will we have multiple pre-moves? Probably not in the near future, and I think it's mostly a philosophical difference. To pick a site entirely at random, chess.com, there are multiple pre-moves, and the other difference is that pre-moves take 1/10 of a second. And as I mentioned with the keyboard extension, I am not a super fast chess player. I'm not a big blitz player. I always play with increment. So I don't have really strong opinions on these things. But my understanding is our philosophy at least at the moment, is that the way LeadChess does it is how we want it to be, and we're not planning on implementing multiple pre-moves. I always had the idea, and you can tell me I'm incorrect on this, and I don't know what I'm talking about, that having multiple pre-moves lowered the skill ceiling a little bit, and having 0-second pre-moves raises the skill ceiling, because if you have 0-second pre-moves, you can always, in theory, finish a game if you're fast enough, right? It doesn't matter how far you are from winning the game. You always, in theory, can finish it if you are pre-moving, if you're fast enough. If you have a minimum amount of time coming off the clock, then there are certain positions where you're just lost because there's no checkmate, and you have half a second, and it's going to take more than 5 moves to finish the game. I love seeing Andrew Tang have 1/3 of a second left to finish off a game, to play 20 moves, and it's plenty, and it is plenty for him. It's even too much time, and that sort of thing is only possible if you have 0-second pre-moves. There's a question I'm looking for here. Chess24 has an option where you can see how a person did against other players. Will you have this in broadcast feature? Oh, so it's in the broadcast feature. I haven't seen this. I wouldn't be against implementing that, but, we'll see. Are there plans for an analysis mode which you and your opponents can use together to show moves, for example, like OTB? I believe we already have that, and I believe it's called LeadChess Studies. Go to Study, you make a study, invite your friends, you can show them all the moves. If I'm understanding the question. Why not unlock better TTTV emotes on Twitch? I don't know how that works. It might be fine. It might not. I'm not sure. What else do we have here? Are you going to introduce some sort of puzzle racer rating? There are no plans at the minute, but maybe. It could happen. The thing about ratings is that they cause cheating. Where there are ratings, there will be cheating, and where there is cheating, there needs to be mods. There needs to be mods doing work, and there are a limited number of mods and a limited amount of work that they can do. So some things have ratings, and some things on LeadChess don't. Games have ratings. Puzzles have ratings. Puzzle Racer does not have ratings. While puzzles have ratings, I will note that recently we made them hidden. So you can only see your own puzzle rating and not anyone else's. Because there was a problem. People were cheating on puzzles, and our attitude was, so what? Let them, that doesn't affect anything. They're only cheating themselves. It's just puzzles. And it caused a problem because people cheated. When you cheat, of course, your rating goes way up, and you play the very, very top-level puzzles that very few people play. And those puzzles' ratings were being warped by the cheaters, so we had to take measures against it. So could Puzzle Racer be rated one day? Maybe. But the decision, the point that I'm trying to make is the decision is not just like, can they have ratings or not? Like, are we going to give them something they want or not? It's, are we going to commit ourselves to all this extra mod work? And we may, but, you know, it has to be discussed. Can LeadChess be a FIDE official partner ever in the near future? Well, it depends what an official partner is. Generally, the official partnerships that FIDE signs are commercial partnerships, where people show logos and promote things and do advertisements. And of course, LeadChess isn't really eligible for all that. But we have worked with FIDE on things in the past. They had, during the pandemic, they had the, what was it called? Checkmate coronavirus tournaments. So yeah, I guess the answer is, depends what you mean by official partner. Why does your LeadChess look different? Because it's prettier LeadChess. Hope somebody linked it for you. How do you prevent piracy on studies? I mean, like, people can just put paid courses out on LeadChess for free. Question from Lamp is great. Well, in theory, you cannot just put intellectual property on LeadChess, because if we catch you, we will delete it. And we do sometimes catch people putting stuff that is copyrighted on LeadChess, and then we do delete it. If you see something that is copyrighted on LeadChess, please report it or send us an email or whatever you have to do, and we will go delete it. I don't think, from what I've seen, there's tons of copyrighted content on LeadChess, but there could be. I mean, there's millions of studies, so there could be some dark underbelly I'm not aware of. It is certainly not okay with LeadChess as an organization that copyrighted content is posted on our website. Are there any plans for Bughouse? No, not at the moment. I suppose I have to talk about Bughouse every stream, which is fine. I'll talk about what you guys want me to talk about. When we introduce new features on LeadChess, we are keen to keep the complexity of the website down as much as possible. All right? Because every new feature that you implement on a website means the other features get a little bit more neglected. And maybe they're only slightly neglected. Maybe they're only, 0.1% neglected. But you just have a little bit less time for them. Because when you code something, that isn't the end of the work associated with it. So if we, people sometimes ask me, like, how long do you think it would take to implement Bughouse? Like, I'm sure Thibaut could whip up Bughouse in like a couple weeks. And people hear that and they say, well, why don't you do it then? Start now. Well, it's not as simple as that. Because after he's finished coding it, that is not the end of the work associated with Bughouse. It has to be maintained. Right? And little things will break and they'll have to be fixed in perpetuity, forever. And not only does Bughouse itself have to be fixed, but it makes the other connected systems more complex too. For example, you have to find a game somewhere, so there has to be some kind of seek system, right? Well, we've made the seek system more complicated. Are the games going to be rated? Now we've made the rating system more complicated. Are you going to analyze the games afterwards? Now the analysis system is more complicated. All the features are connected to each other, and every feature that is connected to another increases the complexity. It increases the maintenance work. So the decision right now is to not have Bughouse, and it is not because of the complexity of coding it. It is because we don't think it's worth it to take on that maintenance work at the moment. It could be worth it in the future. In fact, with LeadChess growing and growing and growing, our standards for what is worth it are changing by the day. I never thought we would have Swiss tournaments, for example. If you'd have asked me like a week before we implemented Swiss tournaments, are you ever going to have Swiss tournaments? I would say no way, no how, forget about it. And I was wrong, so maybe I'm wrong about Bughouse too. What's another question here? Are you planning to do more YouTube videos or clips? I believe they bring more exposure. Yeah, we're doing tons of streams. How to become a LeadChess mod? Well, unfortunately, the specific position of mod is by invitation only. By necessity, because it is a high trust position. If you're interested in getting involved in LeadChess, as far as being a volunteer, an excellent entry point is the Discord. If I was a person trying to get involved with LeadChess right now and wanted to help out, I would go to the Discord. I would go look at the support channel where people come and ask questions, and I would just watch for a while. Just see what the questions are, see what the answers are. Of course, people ask the same question a lot, over and over, and it's a good way to learn how things work. And what will happen is eventually you will be able to answer some questions yourself. And then you can start answering questions, maybe just the ones you feel comfortable with at first. And while you're doing it, you'll notice that all the people there are very cool and personable and charming, and they will become your friends, and then you're in! Something like that. What else do we have here? Man, so many questions. Chat just flies. What about open source contribution? You mean like developers? The developer path is very similar. You go to the Discord. You, instead of going to support, you go to the dev channels. You watch the YouTube video on setting up the LeadChess dev environment. You try to set it up. You can't do it because it's hard. You ask a question on how to do it in the channel. They help you out. We go from there. If it came down to it, would you ban Tebow? Absolutely. LeadChess comes first. No man is above that. It would break my heart, but I'd do what I have to do. So many joke questions. How to become a LeadChess master? You can't anymore. We stopped giving out LM. Sorry. I should have known that when I put Prettier LeadChess up here that half of the questions would just be, what is that? Yeah, let me talk about something else for a second. Can you spectate Carlson? Maybe. So here's something that we've been working on lately, which is study content. We were talking about studies earlier. Here's a study that was made from the recent titled arena with puzzles. And it's pretty basic. You just get a position and you have to find the best move. I won't give it away. I'll let you guys do this if you want to here. I'll put this in chat. And you're prompted to solve it. This one in particular is very pretty, in my opinion. And the reason I'm showing this to you is because this is an area that I personally would like to see LeadChess expand. And I'm not quite sure how to do it, or at least how to start. I would love to see more study content on LeadChess from prominent players. And of course, we are willing to pay to get it. I would love to see opening surveys, maybe endgame courses, whatever it is that people are looking for. I think that's probably the area that LeadChess lags behind other websites. But it's a tough thing to start, basically because we've never done it before. But I don't know, tell me in chat, what sort of, would you be interested in study content? And if so, what kind of study content? Do you want opening surveys? Do you want game reviews? Everybody asking about Prettier LeadChess. or solving the puzzle. Endgame studies. Endgames is a big one. I thought endgames would be a good place to start. I would love to hire a very strong player and just have them do like a, you know, the 100 basic endgames that you need to know. I think that would be sort of a good, like, first study content thing to do for LeadChess. Just an idea. Anything that isn't openings. Okay, so we do have one anti-opening voice. Um, will study voice chat work well for several users? The voice chat in studies basically is more likely to work well with less users. If you have 2 people chatting, it should be fine. 3 people is probably fine. 4, 5, 6, 7 people, it's going to be rough. What's the best browser to run LeadChess on? LeadChess is officially supported on Chrome and Firefox. I can't say that one or the other is better. Probably about the same. There are tiny differences. Chrome, well, Firefox doesn't have the latest version of Stockfish, if you care about that. It's small differences. What about Microsoft Edge? I believe Edge is a Chromium clone, so it's sort of laterally officially supported. Do you ban people because of swearing? I swear a lot when I lose, but I have not been banned yet. Well, context matters a lot in those situations. There are sorts of swearing that are more rude than others, and you can certainly get banned for being rude. You would probably be muted instead of banned. What about Internet Explorer? Internet Explorer is not officially supported by LeadChess. Sorry. Where is Ornikar? I don't know. At his house, probably, or somewhere else. Is there any way to reach out to you personally or to a LeadChess email account that you also read? I have some interesting ideas I think you may find interesting to read about. Yeah, send us an email. Why not? contact@leadchess.org. Those emails all get read. If you are expecting like a long back and forth where we both write 9 paragraphs to each other, it's probably not going to happen. But the feedback is useful. Like, it's hard to communicate sometimes because when somebody suggests a feature, whether it's on the stream or in Discord or whatever, when somebody suggests a feature, I hope they don't feel like we're blowing them off, because the response that they usually get to requesting a feature is like, yeah, okay, that sounds good. And it could sound like we're just sort of shooing them away. But the thing about features is that there will always be more good ideas for features than there are people to make them. So there's always going to be a long list of stuff where we would say, I wouldn't mind having all that. We just haven't done it yet, and maybe we'll get around to it. And when someone suggests one of the things on this list, it isn't useless. It isn't just thrown into the void. It gives us feedback on what we should make next. Because while there is a long list of things that we could put on LeadChess, they are not all equal. Some of them are much more requested than others. And when somebody comes into the Discord and says, hey, can you do this? We add, mentally we add a little check mark to that feature, and it becomes more likely to be made. Hope all that makes sense. Not gonna lie, hearing the official head of LeadChess say FOSS and privacy-friendly page to play chess saying Chrome and Firefox are pretty much the same as a what? You make an excellent point, sir. I'm sorry. I took off my activist hat for a moment, and I shouldn't have. On the level of free and open source software, on a privacy level, Firefox is far superior to Chrome. So yeah, everyone please use Firefox. The question that I was asked, in my defense, was, does LeadChess work better on Chrome or Firefox? And I think the honest answer to that is that it doesn't matter much. So thank you for holding me accountable, MFXX. You make an excellent point. This is why it's so hard to talk. It's so hard to talk like in this form without planning. You say things that you didn't mean to say. You leave details out. You drop the nuance. What else do we have here? Does LeadChess have limitations? Yes, of course. Everyone and everything has limitations. Are there any specific limitation you'd like to know about? Is anybody's cloud analysis accepted? No. There are basically trusted users that are allowed to contribute cloud analysis. And off the top of my head, I don't know what the formula for trusted user is. I'm sure it's some level of activity or age of the account, something along those lines. Currently, if I wanted to go through my own opening tree, funny that you would state it that way, I have to export games, then load them into ChessBase. Any plans to add personal book moves to the online interface? Sir, please check out openingtree.com. You will see exactly what you're looking for. Everybody has funny questions, and I can't say them. I can't admit that they're funny. What else? Is there a way to get on the trusted user list? Yes. By being more trustworthy? Yeah, you just have to do the things that the algorithm looks for. I see you tidied your bookshelf. No, it's moved. It's over there. It's messier than it ever was. I'm not going to show it to you. What if you created a chess GUI for running engines like Leela and Stockfish? Well, you can run Stockfish on LeadChess right now. It's probably not quite as fast as if you ran it on a standalone desktop application, but it works well enough. Leela you cannot run on LeadChess for technical reasons. It's not very easy to do. But there are free and open source software alternatives that run Leela and Stockfish and any other engine that you might want to run. I hesitate to mention one because I'm going to forget. I use one that's called SID. Or is it SKID? SCID. Is it allowed to have more than one account? Yes. There are exceptions to the multi-accounting rules. If you want an anonymous account, if you want a blind account, if you want an organizational account. Are you considering adding options to randomize the start position in Chess 960? My understanding is that they were randomized. Perhaps you can clarify the question. When I play Chess 960, I get a different starting position every time. What else do we have? Funny questions. If Elon Musk... I already think I'm going to regret answering this question. I'm 3 words into the question. Those 3 words are if Elon Musk. And I already am... Whatever, I've already started. I have to do it now. If Elon Musk gave LeadChess $1 billion, would LeadChess accept it or stay pure? Well, you're already assuming that taking the money is impure, so, like, now I kind of have to choose that one, right? Would we take Elon Musk's $1 billion? I mean, if he's just giving it to us, if it's just like writing a check and walking away, I guess, why not? If he wanted something for it, you know, that we would have to discuss. Is he like buying LeadChess? What's going on here? What are the terms of this agreement? I need details. Why is LeadChess not available on Microsoft Store? What's the reason? Not super familiar with the Microsoft Store, to be completely honest, so I may be misunderstanding. I believe that's some kind of app store for Windows or like Windows phones or something. Whatever device you are using that has Microsoft Store, I assure you there are other ways to access LeadChess. So probably we won't be on the Microsoft Store anytime soon. Especially if we have to like make some app just for the Microsoft Store. It's a lot of work. We're probably not doing that. I have so much compute power here, that's why I would like to contribute there too. Well, if you're interested in donating CPU time, I would encourage you to go to Get Fishnet. Let me try this one. Let's find the link here. Make sure I have the right. Yeah, here we go. If you have CPU time that you would like to donate, please go to that link and you can learn about our Fishnet program that allows users to donate CPU time. When you analyze a game on LeadChess, so you finish playing the game and you go down and you click on Request Computer Analysis, that analysis does not come from a LeadChess server. It comes from a volunteer. A noble and pure volunteer. How long will this stream go? I don't know. Another half hour or so. Can I make a separate account for when I'm drunk? Go for it. Absolutely. I'm a LeadChess streamer. I know there's a LeadChess streamer extension, but how can I enable it or activate it? I'm unfamiliar with GitHub and Stylus. Well, you have to install an extension called Stylus and then input the streamer layout into Stylus and then turn it on. I should make like a YouTube video that walks through these things. That's on my to-do list. What's the limit of free open source projects one can use before they're labeled a communist? The limit is 1. If you use any at all, you will be called a communist somewhere. That's just part of it. How about creating a LeadChess digital coin? That was the question earlier, and my response was, for what purpose? If the purpose is just to make a lot of money, that project is not getting off the ground with us. Sorry. My brother works with Elon, said he's a dork. Thank you for your contribution, Hallelujah Cat. I appreciate that. See, you learn all the hot gossip here on this channel. Any plans to add a feature that allows players to prep against each other using similar analytics to what is found in analytics from your games? I launched into this question expecting to just recommend openingtree.com, and I do recommend openingtree.com, but I think you're referring to insights. And the question is sort of, can you see other people's insights, basically? Probably not. A lot of people would not like their insights to be seen. Insights are a private, intimate thing. So, yeah, you can see other people's insights if they hit the button to let you, but otherwise, no. You have to keep your insights to yourself. Are there plans to expand the puzzle system on the mobile application? The entirety of the puzzle system and all the little puzzle minigames are available on mobile devices right now at this moment in time if you are using a mobile browser. So please go open up Chrome or Firefox, preferably Firefox, if that guy is still watching. Preferably Firefox. You know what? Only Firefox. Forget anything else exists. Open Firefox. Go make a donation to the Electronic Frontier Foundation. Use Firefox to build a shrine to Richard Stallman, and then open up LeadChess.org, and you can get all of the puzzle features there, the ones that you want from the app. What else do we have? Here we go. Questions about chess are not going to get answered. Here's a good question. In the marathons, are there any plans to increase the placement trophies since there are tens of thousands of more players now? and getting, let's say, top 300 in recent marathons is even much better than getting top 100 in the first marathon. I think this is a fantastic point, and it is very much on the to-do list to add trophies to the marathon. For people that don't follow these things or don't keep up, the marathon is a 24-hour tournament that we do quarterly, and it has stupid numbers of players. I think it had 25 or 30,000 the last time. And you get a trophy if you finish in the top 100. This person is pointing out very correctly, in my opinion, that the first marathon had, I think it was years ago, had 2,000 or 3,000 people. And of course, it's much more impressive, to finish top 1,000 in a 30,000 person tournament than it is to finish top 100 in a 2,000 person tournament. Did I get the math right? You see what I mean. So there should probably be more trophies given out to top 200, 500, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, I favor that idea, and I hope it happens soon. But there's no concrete timeline. Hello, many people import full books in public LeadChess studies. Is that okay for you because it's clear infringement of copyright? They could import in private studies for their own use instead. Well, definitely copyrighted material. We're not okay with that being on LeadChess, and if you see it, you should report it, and we will delete it. There is some gray area as to what qualifies as copyrighted. If there is a game in a book, and in the book it has the game, and there's tons of commentary, and there's lots of prose in between the different moves and describing things, book stuff. If you just uploaded the game without the commentary, one game, that could not be a copyright violation. What if there's 2 games from the same book? What if there's 3? What if you have the whole book of games with no commentary? What if you have the games and the variations, but no commentary? There's a whole spectrum here. And I don't have really a concrete answer. We decide on a case-by-case basis. But definitely, we do not want LeadChess doing copyright violations, obviously. And this is not theoretical, by the way. I've answered emails from book publishers that wrote to us and said, could you delete this study? And we go delete it. How to improve in Scala programming? Well, I don't know. That question is sort of outside of my purview. A good first project would be to try to install the LeadChess dev environment. Setup, I should say. I can't find the merch store on the page. It should be on the front page. Are you guys planning to implement LeadChess platform on VR? It would be interesting to see tournaments where you can be able to walk and inspect several tables virtually. There are no current plans to do that, but I have played a LeadChess game in VR. A friend of mine's VR helmet thing had a browser in it, and so of course the first thing I did was pull up LeadChess and play a game. It was fun, It was all right. Let's see what else. You can't report studies. You can report the user. Lamp is Great says you can't report studies. There is no, I don't think there's a report button on the studies, but you could go to the user's profile and click report. Tu parles français? Non. Mais je voudrais apprendre. What else do we have here? LeadChess standalone desktop application when? Probably not anytime soon. Why do you want a desktop application so badly? Why is that better than a browser? It's a serious question. I hope I don't come off like that's a counter argument. It's a serious question. If you can explain to me why a standalone desktop application is better, then we'll consider it. I think it works pretty well in the browser, in my opinion. Say LeadChess stops getting enough donations suddenly, maybe because of Corona donations. What will the plan be after that for the company? Here's a good question. This is a very good question. What would LeadChess do if we suddenly didn't have enough money to pay our bills? I can only answer personally what I would favor, and I guess I could also say what I think would happen. Like, I can predict what I think would happen. We would find ways to lower our bills. We would stop paying for things in order to have less bills. We might have less frequent titled arenas. We might drop some staff. We might find ways to save money on servers. I tell you what we wouldn't do. We wouldn't put ads and trackers on the website. We wouldn't put paywalls on the website. That's not happening. I would 100% recommend firing myself before putting ads or trackers or paywalls on the website. And it's going to sound very, preachy or something when I say that, but that is 100% true. I don't want to put words in people's mouths, but I think just about everybody that works for LeadChess would say the same thing. I think if Thibaut was here, he would say, please fire me before you put ads or trackers or paywalls on the website. And if I didn't work for LeadChess anymore, professionally, I would still do volunteer work in my free time. The situation of me doing work for free for LeadChess is not theoretical. That's what was happening before I worked for them. I was a volunteer before I was officially hired. I would just go back to doing that, and I would get a real job, and it would be very sad, and life would go on. It would be better than LeadChess losing what it is, losing its soul. I hope I'm not too preachy and self-righteous in that answer, but it's 100% confirmed. Is there any way to see the LeadChess tournament schedule further ahead? Because I'd like to play in the Italian hourly rapid arenas. I don't believe the opening-themed arenas are scheduled more than a couple days in advance or something. So the answer is no, unfortunately. Are you a web developer? No. I am the community guy. I can mimic developers from having hung around them all day for a long time. And, but no, I'm not a developer. I have, I think, a very small number of pull requests on the LeadChess GitHub, which I'm very proud of. But it's a single-digit number. Yes, this is prettier LeadChess. Will Bughouse come to LeadChess? Probably not anytime soon. Are there extensions to add trackers/ads? I feel lost. Yeah, I hear there's this browser that adds advertisements called Brave or something. So yeah, if you want to see ads on LeadChess, you can use the Brave browser, and it'll put little ads in the corner for you, make you feel better. I mimic web devs too by copying code from Stack Overflow. Yeah, I think every dev is just copying. Is just pretending. We're all pretending. Why don't you stream anymore? I'm streaming right now, sir. Why don't I stream on my own channel? I don't know. I'll get to it later. Is there an uglier LeadChess add-on? Oh no, I'm getting clipped. I hope I didn't say anything too bad. Oh boy. How much money do we need to raise to have Bughouse on LeadChess? It's not a matter of money, friend. It's not a matter of money, and if you don't believe me that it's not a matter of money, then I don't know what else we have to do to prove it to you. Does LeadChess target on becoming a big company like Amazon or Google? No. LeadChess does not target becoming a big company. It does not target becoming a company. We are not a company. We are a community organization. We are not motivated by profit. We do not have investors. So if we are even slightly like Amazon or Google, I will have failed horribly, and I will be very sad. So many questions. So many questions are funny. If I donate Patreon for one time, I just get the Patreon symbol for one day. Well, it's not the Patreon symbol. It's the patron symbol. Patreon is a different website. The Patreon system is very simple. If you donate any amount above $1, you get the Wings trophy on your profile for a month. You can, of course, set up recurring donations every month, or you can donate $250 and get it for lifetime. Those are the only 2 tiers that we have at the moment. What are your future plans? Well, probably get lunch after this. Oh, you meant for LeadChess. Oh, sorry. No, yeah, that makes more sense. We don't really announce future plans. At least not with code things. Basically, if there's a new feature on LeadChess, you will hear about it when it's ready to go, when it's live, when it's on the website. If you're on the Discord, you might do some beta testing like a little bit before, but we certainly don't announce things that are coming up months ahead of time, because no one should do that. That's a terrible idea. You always want to have the possibility of backtracking. Sometimes something seems like a good idea and you sit down to do it and you realize it's a terrible idea, and you're not going to do it. And if you've already told people you're going to do it, you have a problem. LeadChess does not have this problem because we don't announce things. What if we just made LeadChess prettier instead of having to install external software? That's not a question. Yeah, with any extension, I think there was a question earlier, like, why not just put prettier LeadChess as a native feature in LeadChess? Generally, if some developer is already maintaining the extension and taking care of it for us, we don't have a lot of motivation to like take it from them and maintain it ourselves. We'd rather just let them have it because people get access to it either way. So if we're not the ones that have to maintain it, and that's perfectly fine with us. Are donations for the patron symbol cumulative? I can never say that word. Cumulative. Or does the $250 donation have to be all at once? Yeah, if you want the lifetime, you got to go $250 at once. You can't donate 10 a month and then after 25 months say, may I be a lifetime, sorry. What else do we have? There's currently a kids mode on LeadChess. Would it perhaps also be possible to have a senior mode in which many functions are not displayed directly? For many older people from my club, it is often very confusing with all the options. Mr. Born-Huis, I have never heard that suggested before. It is an interesting idea. I think that sort of thing could be easier to implement with CSS. You could just remove as many elements as possible from the LeadChess page to leave only the most important stuff. Yeah, I like the idea. Why did you choose TypeScript and not another front-end library? Hopefully there is a developer in the chat to answer that one, because any devs in chat that want to talk about why TypeScript, I'm sure they have their reasons. What drugs go best with the LeadChess experience? Mr. Mango Town Plaza, the drugs that you use is a personal decision, and I and LeadChess have no role in it. But don't do heroin. That stuff, that's bad. That's going to ruin your life. Do something lighter. I will say that. Will LeadChess connect its ratings with FIDE anytime soon? No. It is not a goal of LeadChess ratings to be similar to FIDE. The goal is to get people a good game that is neither too hard nor too easy. Is there any way to contribute to LeadChess other than money, like coding? Yes! Go watch the YouTube video on setting up the LeadChess dev environment, head to the Discord, join our community, submit pull requests, check GitHub issues. You won't regret it. Would you ban Magnus from multiple accounts? Is this a trick question? This is a gotcha question, isn't it? I know what's going to happen. This person has asked me, would you ban Magnus for multiple accounts? And I'm supposed to be like, well, obviously, no man is above the law. And then be like, well, actually, sir, may be surprised to know this, but he's played on a few accounts now. Multiple accounting is okay if it falls under one of the accepted uses, like staying anonymous. Or if you're switching accounts, if you like stop using the old one and use the new one. The kid mode is very lackluster, unfortunately. Any plans to make chess for toddlers more fun? I assume this is a serious question and not just a kids toddlers joke. I had a toddler. I lost her somewhere. No, I had a toddler that is now aged out of toddlerdom. And she used LeadChess all the time. The thing that she liked was the learn feature, which is not even like games of chess. It's just moving the pieces around and sort of getting used to how the pieces move. And she played learn for hours. What's your role in LeadChess? I am the community guy. Hikaru is streaming. Are you going to watch it? Well, I got to work right now, but maybe afterwards. What else do we have here? Lots of drug questions, which I won't be answering. You're on your own there. I'll have the drug AMA later on my own channel. How many developers currently working in LeadChess? This is a very difficult question to answer. If I wanted to be really dishonest and brag, I would go to the GitHub page and I would add up all of the contributors and I would say there are hundreds of developers working on LeadChess. Hundreds of them. Day to day, that is not really true. In the last, month, how many people have contributed code to LeadChess? I don't know, I'm guessing 7 or 8, 9 or 10, 11 or 12, something like that. Go look at the GitHub and look at the commits and see who sends them and add up the numbers and you'll pretty much see who is developing LeadChess. Is LeadChess trying to face the rating inflation? I don't believe there is rating inflation, sir, as we discussed. LeadChess ratings may be higher or lower than other sites, but that is not inflation. That is just how the rating system works. Even if we are an intermediate developer, it seems complicated to set up and really help LeadChess with code. Yes and no. Learning Scala is probably hard, or so I'm told, having never learned it. And the back-end stuff maybe, is Scala, so you might have a problem. There are issues. So I should explain this. Hold on, let me pull this up. One moment. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay, so here's the LeadChess GitHub page. And we have issues, which are, feature requests or things that are wrong or whatever. And we have these tags, right? And one of the tags that actually appears right here, so I'm very happy that it's very fortuitous that I opened it up, is no Scala and good first issue. And these sorts of things, I think an intermediate developer could absolutely help with. And I would go check in on the Discord and say, is it cool for me to get started on this issue? And they'll give you feedback. And like I said, I was able to do successful pull requests on the GitHub. And not a lot, like 4. If I was able to do successful pull requests, there is nobody whose skills are too low. It's clearly not every issue is going to be something you can tackle. Probably like Bughouse implementation is not going to be the first thing you do. Probably. Is it possible to start a LeadChess dating app? Yes, absolutely. I think that's great. Well, I would rather it be like a separate organization that we could, help promote. Sometimes when I watch chess on Twitch, a recommended channel pops up. When I click, it is a pretty girl, often wearing very few clothes and not playing chess. What can LeadChess do about this? Nothing. I don't know. Probably. I don't know, maybe we can do something. Maybe we should think a little bit more ambitiously. Is it possible to have time odds on friendly matches? I think currently the only way to do that is spamming the 15-second button. Yeah, that's the only way right now. If you want to play a 5-minute versus 3-minute, start a normal 3-minute game and then hit the 15-second button until they have more time. There have been like Armageddon games played on LeadChess for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like the St. Louis event, which had I think $500,000 in prize fund. They played Armageddon games, and that is how they made the Armageddon games. They may have done it with the API, so it like all happened at once, but it's essentially what they did. Is there any way to fix Australia's huge ping disadvantage? Probably not, although I would listen to suggestions. The main LeadChess servers are in Europe, and Australia is a long way from Europe. And my understanding of physics is that light can only travel so fast. But, you know, that could change. I should say electromagnetic radiation can only travel so fast. The servers aren't connected with, like, you know, smoke signals or something. Why haven't you played a rapid game on LeadChess since 2017? Oh no, my dark secret revealed. This was my nightmare.
I just want to apologize to everyone for not playing a rapid game since 2017. It doesn't represent who I am. I'm sorry, I'm going to try and grow and be better for it.
I should have my wife and kids next to me while I do the apology. Why does anyone play a rapid game ever? It's rapid. How does the growth of the LeadChess player base look like? Is it increasing? Is it increasing a lot? Are you worried? No, I'm not worried. The user base has increased immensely. It in the previous year, meaning 2020, there was a huge jump for the pandemic. The user base doubled in like a couple of weeks, and then there was apparently some Netflix show, and then it doubled again. And yeah, there's a lot of people on LeadChess, but we've got it under control. Don't you worry. Isn't there lag compensation, though? Yes, there is lag compensation. But, so, okay, I assume this refers to the Australia question. There is lag compensation on LeadChess. So, if there's a lot of latency in your connection, you get extra time to cover for it. The compensation is not infinite. There is a complicated formula where basically there is a cap. So, you will get compensation on move 1, get it on 2, get it on 3, get it on 4, and then if you've used up your cap, you don't get it on 5. So if you have a very high latency connection, you probably are going to run out after a few moves. And then you're just lagging and you're losing seconds on every move, and it's bad. I don't think that there is a clean solution to this problem. You will hear Ultra Bullet players saying that there needs to be less lag compensation or more, and it's a tough one. Someone got downvoted in the forum for saying internet travels at the speed of light. Hey man, the people want what they want. The lag page says that LeadChess can't make light go faster. What are your plans to remedy that? We are hard at work on on making light go faster. Our current solution is some kind of wormhole or something along those lines. Any specific reason why LeadChess has started streaming on its own brand name? I assume you mean on the LeadChess channels? Well, I mean, how do I answer this? Live streams and video content is something that modern chess websites do, so LeadChess does it too. I don't know. Does it have to be any more complicated than that? What else do we have? Is there a specific criteria for appearing on the front page on LeadChess as a streamer? No. It is by invitation only. If I were the CEO of LeadChess, I would sell the company and go for vacays whole life. Well, fortunately, there is no CEO of LeadChess. Is the table base really 30 terabytes? Yes. Table bases are insanely mega huge. It's kind of what makes creating them so difficult. There is a lot of chess, and if you need to see all the chess with 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 pieces, it's going to be a lot of chess. Can someone be banned for insulting Anna Cramling? Yes, you can be banned for insulting anyone. It's not any better or worse when it concerns Mrs. Cramling. I like the "what are your plans to remedy that" sentence construction. That makes me very happy. Is LeadChess based on donations? Yes, we pay for everything with donations. There is... Well, okay, it's not true. We make like this much money from the merch store, and other than that, everything is donations. I may be thinking of missing some other revenue stream, but whatever it is, it can't be that prominent because I'm forgetting it. Yeah, we pay for everything with donations. How big is the middle game table base? It's pretty big. Do you see Chess.com as a competitor or just another chess website? I don't think LeadChess has competitors. And people are going to misunderstand that sentence and think that I'm saying that like we're so great that no one can compete with us. It's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that we're not competing. It's not a competition. If Chess.com goes out of business tomorrow or makes $1 billion, it doesn't make LeadChess any better or worse as a website. It doesn't make me any better or worse at my job. It's got nothing to do with us. It's not a competition. Of course, we're interested in what they're doing because they do very similar things to us. But the formal goals of the organization is not to be better or worse, or we have to destroy them, or we're not a business. We're not competing. We're a community organization. Anyone else who is doing chess on the internet is not a competitor. In fact, they could be an ally. Like, we could be working together. If there are two charities that are working towards... I mean, this is a poor example because charities are often very just businesses in disguise. If there are two charities working to, I don't know, cure lung cancer, are they competing? Are they trying to, like, be the better charity? Or they I mean, I don't know what they do in the real world, but they should work together. They're working towards the same goal. Anyway, that was a slightly rambling answer, but I think I got my point across. Is it possible to use custom sounds in a similar way as stylus for boards, pieces? Absolutely. You could code an extension that has custom sounds. I'm not aware of anyone actually doing that. You could also submit a custom sound set on the GitHub where we might implement it, but it's like anything that people submit, it may or may not be implemented. So many joke questions. So many hilarious joke questions. One of these days I'm going to do this stream and I'm not going to answer any questions. I'm just going to read the joke questions and laugh. That's going to be the whole stream. Just me giggling at questions. I'm not even going to tell you what I'm giggling at. I'm just going to giggle at it. It's just going to be me sitting stock still, giggling. All right, everybody. So, I've got to go. It was a great time. I really appreciate everybody asking questions. We are going to raid a good friend of mine named Pentala Hari Krishna, who is a top 20 or 30 player. He's a very personable, well-spoken guy as well. He's a streamer, and we're all going to go watch him do his thing. I hope you will follow us. There'll be a No Joke stream soon. I don't know when. Hopefully soon. But thank you very much for hanging out. I love you all. Hope I answered some questions.